Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers, best bet, or daily package for only $2.
Hey guys, welcome in. Happy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't even know what day it is. It's Tuesday, I'm thinking. I'm just glad that TCU game is over here. It is the 10th of January. It is 2023, and we do have ourselves 7 games in the association tonight. We're going to break down a few of these games for you, see if we can't come up with a couple of best bets along the way. And we're going to do it, of course, with the OG crew as we welcome back in here for 2023. Ski Profit in the house, as is Tony Finn and Mr. Rob Vino in the house. Guys, ready to roll here. It was an interesting night last night in the association. We've got injuries once again starting to mount. The old who's in, who's out, playing that game more and more, it feels, as this season progresses. But we got opportunities to cash a few tickets here tonight, Skee, and I know you got something locked and loaded here on the card. What's going on at WagerTalk.com?
Yeah, yesterday I didn't have a good day because props mostly, and Knicks split in that first half and the full game. Today, I've made 3 plays so far in the NBA, and I have some NFL plays up and available too. I've won about 61, a little bit over 61% of my last 31 wagers in the NFL. So I've already got a few locked and loaded for a wild card weekend as well.
Telling you, man, it's going to be it's a great time of the year here, kicking the year off right. And just increasing that bankroll, Tony Finn. What do you got rolling here tonight? Anything in the association?
Yeah, I do. I have. I like the card tonight. I like the card too much, in fact. So I had to throw a game out that I would love to have released officially, but I have 4 positions tonight in the NBA, 4 in college as well on Super Tuesday. He's ESPN Super Tuesday. Are we there yet, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Are we Big Monday Super Tuesday? Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. That's what I got. Only at Wager Talk. Come get them.
All right, guys. And, of course, Rob Vino, are you done counting the money for how many times you bet Georgia last night, Vino? Just let us know whenever you come up for air and tell us what you got going on tonight here at WagerTalk.com. And he's muted.
Hey. No comment?
Nope, still muted. Yep, still muted. Yeah, one more time, Vino. We'll give you one more.
How about now?
There you go. Outstanding. See, the money, the stacks of money were on the mute button. I know what was going on there.
Wow. I haven't used the mute button since I joined Wager Talk. I don't know what got into me there. I was saying that I had a lot of things tied to Georgia last night, which was good, obviously. Start to finish, they were the right side. NBA tonight, up and available right now. 3 plays at Wager Talk from the NBA action. 1 being a player prop, 1 being a total, 1 being a side. So you get a good variety here tonight from NBA action. Once again, WagerTalk.com.
Gotta love it here, guys. All right, we've got 7 games on the board. We do have, of course, we got to hear from the contrarian gods here. They have a game they circled here, and it's going to involve a little late night action as the Clippers. We've got a line flip alert here. Clippers went from a 2.5 opening favorite to now a 1.5 point dog. Why? No idea. Paul George was never playing in this game, but it looks like Doncic went from questionable to probable. So the market has completely flipped and let the dog, Dallas, be the favorite in this one here. So, Skee, Are you buying it? Should this have flipped simply because Doncic is going to be probable in this game tonight?
Well, I think that's the side that I would prefer. I mean, Clippers without, I mean, if they don't have both of the superstars in there and the way that they've been playing lately, I mean, what, they've won one game the last 2 weeks. They've lost, I think, 5 or 6 in a row. It's just not a team that I would want to be laying with. Now, saying that, it's interesting that they opened up as a 3.5 or 4-point favorite, but I just can't help but think, we've talked about this Mavs Clippers matchup plenty of times, and I call him Luka Debo because he bullies the Clippers every time he's on the other side. So I can only look towards the Mavericks in this game. I would be against contrarian play, and I probably would just prefer to play Luka on his points or PRA or something like that because he'll probably have 20 at the end of the first quarter.
We do have, by the way, it's, the Dallas Mavericks are not without injuries and people out as well. Dorian Finney-Smith, Josh Green, Maxi Kleber, some of the better defenders that they have not in here. And I believe, Rob, Batum, is he a go here tonight for the Clippers? I think that's about that's it. So Kennard and George are out. Batum is a go. I would imagine Kawhi is going to be on the court. And Clippers need a win. The contrarian gods are backing them. What do you think?
Boy, they do need a win, Joe. And the other night, they basically had one late in the fourth in the bank, and they let Atlanta come from behind on their own home floor and beat them to run that losing streak, the 5 straight games, the ATS losing streak, the 6 straight games. So they're not playing well, like Skee said. A lot of that has to do with the defensive numbers that they've posted as of late. They're known as a defensive team, but if you go back 8 games, field goal percentage allowed by the LA Clippers, 49.4, 56.8, 50.6. 45-9 was their best against Miami. 52-3, 48-4, and 51-2. 7 out of 8 games, Joe, allowing 48% or better from the floor. The Clippers aren't really clicking well enough offensively to cover up that porous defense. And, Skee mentioned it. Ever since the playoffs a couple of years ago, Luka has had it out for this team. Patrick Beverley and Montrezl Harrell don't even play for the Clippers anymore. And they were the 2 antagonists, really, with Luka in that playoff series a couple of years back. So I think he'll come to play here. I don't like the fact that they flipped to be the favorite. Dallas on the road hasn't been good this year against the point, 6-13 as a road team. So that's nothing stellar. But the Clippers haven't been good lately, and they haven't been great as a home team either. I think if I had to here, I would, I agreed with the contrarian gods last night and got it right. Tonight, I'll disagree with them and hopefully get it right again.
All right, so we got another vote for the Dallas Mavericks in this one. What do you think, Tony Finn? Are you sold that Dallas should be a favorite on the road against the Clippers here tonight?
Well, no. I mean, I'm never sold on Dallas, and rarely sold on the Clippers unless I'm absolutely, unless the evidence that I, and the rest of the gang here know who is going to be in the first 5, who's going to be in street clothes, et cetera, et cetera. Dallas is a team that's a wishy-washy team. This is a team that is really going to have to be at their best, I think, to play as well as they did at the end of last year, and then, of course, into the postseason and challenge for a Western title. It's great. That applies to every night they take the floor. Doncic, go or no go, is everything, isn't it? When you're looking at Dallas, I mean, if Doncic's not on the floor, this team is the equivalent of the Joker not being on the floor for Denver. I mean, as far as metrics go. So here's the deal. I'm showing, you guys said it already, I'm showing that Paul George is out, as you said, Joe, and Kennard's out. We're going to have Kawhi in the mix here, and in that mix with Dallas and Doncic, I think it's a coin flip. Probably give me an advantage to the Clippers at the Crypto Center. So I'll be, I'll step aside here and say I would be on the Clippers side, where everybody else seems to like the Mavs.
1 in 5, Dallas on the road ATS. Their previous 5 or 6 games rather on the road. The Clippers 5-2 against the number in the last 7 against the Dallas Mavericks. Is it Kawhi or Doncic tonight. Should be actually a pretty entertaining game to watch, too, as the Clippers are going to be your contrarian play of the day. All right, we do have a featured matchup, sort of a coming home party, if you will, a little bit, as the Cleveland Cavaliers heading to Utah to take on the Jazz. And who's coming home? One Donovan Mitchell will be returning there to Utah to take on his former club. 2.5 is what I'm seeing Cleveland laying right now. 226.5 is the total. I do believe Garland is a go here tonight for Cleveland. So it does look like they'll have their point guard back, and it doesn't look like nothing really crazy that we haven't already seen from Utah. But boy, oh boy, Skee, it's tough to back this Utah team here. You only back them at home, but woo, it's been a rough little stretch here for them. Do you trust them as a dog at home here tonight?
It's tough. I think in this game, I honestly just prefer player props just because, I mean, you know who's likely to light it up. You have Donovan Mitchell coming back home, and on the other side, you have, or we've been calling him lately, Larry Bird, because he's been lighting it up. You have him on the other side. So I prefer to just play on one of those guys on a points prop. And I'm not sure, maybe Rob, you can help me look this up right now. But maybe I made a mistake. I have the Cavaliers as the 29th team defending the 3 so far this season. That just doesn't seem right to me. But when I think about it, I just expect a lot of points in this game. Utah, the third worst defensive rated team the last 5 games, and they've been playing up tempo. So in a game that I think means a lot to both of the star players, I think there'll be a lot of points. I lean over. It's not a game that I play.
All right, leaning over here. Donovan Mitchell, got to look at those numbers, Vino. I mean, he's averaging, 29 a game anyway. Probably going to have a little extra juice, but Utah has now lost 9 of their last 12. And we saw this game already, didn't we, earlier this year? It didn't work out well for Utah. So what are we going to get here tonight, do you think?
Well, I think that you'll probably get the reverse of what happened the first time. You know, it was Larry Markkanen's homecoming into Cleveland last time, and he shot real well, 24 points. This time, I think Donovan Mitchell into Utah, as Skee said, probably the right way here. Real quick on those 3-point defense numbers, the Cleveland Cavaliers do rank 29th in the NBA defending the 3, 37% allowed, and Utah does have their share of 3-point shooters. I would like to look at this game from an over perspective, Joe. Utah at home this year, the average final score totals 237 points. And here, because it's Cleveland, we get a little bit of a bargain on that particular average number. Staring right now as we speak at about 226.5. So I would think that maybe there's a lot of wiggle room here with a total to get up and over. Utah's been over in their last 3 games. Utah defensively has been poor for quite a while now. Again, the identity that they took on to start the season as an offensive-minded basketball team kind of went by the wayside a little bit in the middle, but they're back scoring points, and they may be able – Cleveland may go toe-to-toe with them point-wise. So I think 226.5 is a little bit of a bargain. I prefer that as more than I would decide here. Cleveland – 3rd game of this 5-game road trip. They evened it out the other night with a good defensive effort in Phoenix. But this is a huge step up in class offensively from what Phoenix is right now. Phoenix hasn't scored 100 points in 4 straight games. Utah, the exact opposite of that. So give me over in this game, Joe. I think over 226.5 seems to be the way I would look.
All right. Well, what do we think here? Let's see the numbers, Finn. Jazz 10-9 against the number at home. Cavs 7-11-1 against the number on the road, but 3-10-1 in their last 14 road games. So Cleveland hasn't exactly been covering anything out on the road, and they're in Utah tonight. How are you looking at this game? The home dog, or is it Donovan Mitchell's reunion?
Well, I'll lean to the latter. I don't. There's very little doubt in my mind. I've been one of those that have been fading Utah. I think one of the shows that I was wrong, and Skee was right actually on that when we discussed it that night. But I'm fading Utah for the last 3 weeks. that magical first month or first 3 weeks where they looked like they had made that they were the smart group and were not just cleaning house or restocking or rebuilding. If you can do that in the NBA, they played well. There's a couple of advantages that Cleveland have here. First off, their defense of the 3-point line is a little bit skewed. If you look, I don't want to go into it. We don't have much time, and you don't want to hear me anyway. But long story short is what the Jazz have done really, really well, guys, is they shoot so many threes, they get some long rebounds. They've been terrific on the offensive glass. Second chance points have made them who they are, or who they were. Who they are is starting to trend to reality, should I say, Joe? And the best. Listen, Cleveland's, I think, the third or fourth best team on the glass, defensive glass, as long as Allen and their front court is healthy and in the paint. It's difficult to score on them at the rim, and it's damn difficult to grab a missed shot. So Jazz are not going to be able to run as much as they'd like to run tonight. They're not going to have the offensive rebounds that they typically get, and for the most part, this Cleveland team's healthy with Donovan returning for the big shoe, and I certainly do like Cleveland.
Yeah, Skee, I mean, I'm showing the Cavs defense allowing the second highest 3-point percentage in the league, only behind the San Antonio Spurs. And we know how terrible they are. So it should be interesting. If it's raining tonight and they're going in, oh boy, it's going to be a tough one here for the Cleveland Cavaliers. But speaking of points, we do have a total that we'll focus on here in this overtime segment. And it's an intriguing matchup here. We have seen this number come down, and that's between Orlando and Portland here tonight. Opened around the 230 and a half mark, but now it is falling down. I don't see a whole lot of from the injury report, at least the last one there. It looks like Bol back. He is ready to roll here tonight. And I believe Nurkic and Gary Payton also probable here. So nothing abnormal with the injury report. But what do you think here, Skee? The market says we ain't going to get 230. What do you think?
Yeah, this is another tough game for me here. I know both teams have been playing up tempo lately. We can at least, probably trust that they'll continue to do that. Top 10 pace the last 5 games, and Orlando, bottom 10 defensive rated team. Now, when I look at Portland, it's kind of the opposite what I think of them as a team. Bottom 5 offensive rated team the last 5, and top 5 defensive rated team. So with that said, if these teams are playing each other and they're playing up tempo, I don't know how much I trust Portland's defense to hold like it has been. So I'd probably look more towards an over. I know Portland has cashed 9 of their 14 home games towards the over, and just a lean in that direction from me.
All right, so just a lean here to the over in this one. Rob, what do you think? Feels like if this game's either going to be in the 260s or the 180s. I don't know. I just don't feel like there's going to be anything in between here with these two. What do you see happening here tonight?
Yeah, and I think that's a problem, Joe, because Chauncey Billups made it known to his team about 3 or 4 games ago that he didn't like their defensive effort. He didn't like the way they were playing. So he's tried to make a couple of subtle changes. It kind of shows up in Portland's last 3 games, which have all resulted in unders. High pace or not, they've been stuck on these underplays, and they haven't scored very well. And you just wonder if the team isn't listening to the head coach and paying more attention to the defensive side than the offensive side. But they've only scored 106, 99, and 105 in their last 3 games. Portland, obviously, with all the players that they have, especially that starting 5, they're capable of an offensive breakout at any time. And last night, the Magic gave up 23 3-pointers to the Sacramento Kings and 138 points in all. So it's back-to-back for the Magic. I do think the Magic with Bol back has a nice front court size advantage, right? Because you can take Wendell Carter Jr. and back him up with Bol now, which is bigger than what Portland would be. And I do like the front line with Wagner and Banchero. I think the number's probably a bit a bit too high for me just because of the way Billups wants them to play at this point in time. But I'm really scared of Portland having a breakout night offensively because Charlotte's defense last night didn't show up. And if you look at Orlando's defense, if you look at the Magic's last 4 games, guys, 111 plus scored by the Magic in all 4. If they get to that number again, then this game probably does go over. So it's going to be a very slight lean from me toward under, just based on Chauncey Billups demanding the Blazers play better defense.
Yeah, what do you think here, Finn? It's intriguing that the market would say, we're not going to get to this 230 mark, and it's pushed it down a little because I think both of these teams certainly capable of putting this closer to 240. But do you think we get there tonight?
Well, I don't. Portland, it's been discussed here. I just heard you guys talking about it. Billups would love this group to be more defensive. He's kind of old school. That's him. But I don't think they are that. I mean, I don't think that they're excited about being defensive. It takes a certain mentality, mindset to do such, and that comes with your player personnel. But their slide, that 3-8 straight up, I think, in the last 11 against the spread has all to do with scoring and struggling a little bit. 111. Robbie mentioned it. 111.1 per 100 possessions. This Blazers team. That's really not good enough for the way I believe they play defense or where they want to play, despite Billups. So they've been outscored by almost 2 points per 100 possessions during that 11-game stretch. And Orlando, listen, if you look at the metrics and you look at some of the trends, Orlando without rest, pretty good to the over. Portland with rest advantage, pretty good to the over, right? This is probably a bit high, as Rob mentioned. Probably is. I don't listen. Did Orlando not just give up a record-setting 3.9 from Sacramento, right? And now we're seeing this number come down, so it is confounding. It's a little bit of a mixed bag here. I'm not around this game. I would be playing against Orlando. This is how I see Orlando, Joe. When they defend the 3 line, they're a pretty good team, and they shoot well from the 3 line. They're a pretty good team. If you look at the wins they had, that little stretch of success they had defensively, it was because they did those 2 things. Just look at the numbers. When they don't shoot well from the 3, they can't score. They're just not – I mean, they're big, they're tall, they're lanky, and they can create some issues defensively in the lane for teams, but I'm not confident in Bull and those guys acting like they're guards and dribbling down the court at about 2 miles an hour with the ball bouncing about 20 feet in the air. I'm just not confident in that. So I like Portland at home. I take Portland at home tonight, but I'm not really keen on playing over 230 with these 2.
So I'm seeing Orlando 110 as a team total, and you mentioned it, Rob. At least 3 straight in 111 or more, somewhere in that ballpark, and you got Portland, who is 118. That's their team total. They are certainly, like you said, capable of dropping 125 here tonight if they don't get it. So maybe some team totals might be the way to look as well there, guys, as the Magic taking on the Trailblazers tonight. 7 games, 7 dogs. Let's check out what we got going on, Robert.
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
All right, let's check them out. Let's see what we got here. We got Detroit as a dog here tonight. Charlotte, OKC down the road for me here. Miami, Utah. We talked Phoenix, Orlando there, and the Clippers. All dogs on the card here tonight. So some interesting spots. Skee, is there one dog here that may be barking for you tonight?
Yeah, there's a couple that are interesting, but let's go ahead and just let's rock with the biggest dog on the board here in Detroit. And I just, for one, here's what I'll read off to start. Home favorites that won the previous matchup as a road favorite, and they're playing within 2 days. They're a fade. They're 31, 45, and 1 against the spread, 40.8%. That says to fade the Sixers tonight. And I mean, in that last game they just played, they won by 12.5. They won by 12, so they would have covered the 12.5 or 13.5 that they're asked to cover tonight. I just feel like, Philly's going to look at this game, knowing they just beat this team, seeing that all of the good players, best players are out for Detroit, and they're not going to care that much about it. So I think it's a good situation for Detroit to stay within the number today.
All right, Detroit's a ton of points here, 13 and a half. Vino, how about you, man? Is there a dog on here that might be barking for you tonight?
Well, I'll go against your Miami Heat, Joe, and take Oklahoma City here. I was saying to Skee earlier, about an hour and a half from now, 2 hours from now, if you look at the internet and these injury reports, you're going to find a little thing that says players available for Miami. And it's going to be about 7 or 8. Just everybody's out of this game. And what Oklahoma City does is they try and wear teams down with older legs or with depth-shy situations by just keeping the pace up-tempo 94 feet for 48 minutes. I think that's what they'll do here tonight. Oklahoma City has most of their guys back. The first time that these two played, Miami wins the game in Oklahoma City, 110-108. However, those 110 points Miami scored, 81 of those won't be present tonight.
Yeah.
There's like 29 rebounds that won't be present tonight. So you're taking an awful lot away from what Miami had the first time to only win by 2. I don't think they win here. Oklahoma City, surprisingly, straight up record, 18 wins and 22 losses. They're just about a 500 team at this point in the season, halfway in. I think they'll come to play. Don't like the Miami depth-shy situation. I think Oklahoma City with tempo will capitalize on it. So I'll take OKC +2.
All right, OKC as the short dog on the road against Miami. How about you, Finn? Which one of these dogs is barking?
I have my best bet tonight is a dog, but I'll throw another one in here. And I can't. I have a hard time with Detroit because I guess Embiid's back. I'm not certain they're going to be able to do much with Embiid, but that's a lot of points that Skee's throwing out there. But I would probably go with the Clippers at home. I mean, we talked a little bit, and that's a short dog. If you want to really call it a dog, I'm showing them +1 right now. Again, this is a team that I'm with the contrarian gods tonight, which is unusual for me. I just love opposing them just to get your reaction. So I'll take the Clippers and the point.
Doubling down.
I'm gonna step out.
Love it.
I'm gonna say, don't even worry about the point. Take the money line.
Oh, look at he's doubling down, Vino. Listen, Vino doubled down with the contrarian gods. That worked out like ass. So let's go. Best bets. See what we got here tonight. All right, so we'll throw 60 seconds on the clock here, and you guys free to do whatever you want in that 60 seconds. Just drop us a best bet on the card here tonight. Skee, a lot of props. It sounds like that you're leaning towards here on the card tonight. What's your best bet for us?
Well, honestly, this one is one that I was thinking and talking about right now in my head, honestly. But I'm looking at Phoenix. They've been terrible without Devin Booker. They're the worst offensive rated team the last 5 games. They're playing at the slowest pace in the league. Going up against a Warriors team that's, off 2 straight losses. They're at the house where they've excelled. And just, Warriors in this situation as a big favorite. When I say that, in this situation is -9 or more at home off a loss, last 11 games. Only one team has surpassed that 109 or 108.5 team total number that the Suns are looking at today. And, Suns, they've the last 6 games, they haven't cleared it once. They're terrible. They don't even average 100 points the last 2 weeks. So all of this is just putting me on Suns team total under the 108.5 or 109. Sorry I didn't explain it better, but the more I thought about it during the show, the more I liked it.
All right. Love it. All right. It's interesting. And Steph, too, back tonight, I think, or at least they said he's got a chance, I think, of playing, right? So welcome back, Steph Curry here, shooting from section 301. Talk to us here, Rob, Vino. What do you think tonight here? 60 seconds. You got a best bet for us?
All right, I'll go a little different here, Joe. This is going to be a pure fade of a game we didn't talk about, but I'm going to take first half Toronto Raptors minus the 4.5, whatever it is. And it's a fade of Charlotte in the first half. They're the worst spread team in the NBA first half wise. 13 wins, 25 losses. They'll lose almost 2 out of every 3. The last 24 games, first half wise, for the Charlotte Hornets, they've lost 17 of those against the spread. And 13 of those, they lost by 6 or more, 10 by double digits. So when they lose the first half, they're usually not even close. I think Toronto last game picked it up a little bit. You know, they've had a hard time getting healthy all at once here, but they are at this point in time all healthy. Maybe it's time for Toronto to make a little bit of a push, but I just want to fade this first half misery of Charlotte. I'll take Toronto minus the 4.5 first half tonight.
All right. Don't hate it at all here. And Tony Finn, you said you got a little something cooking up for the best bet as a dog. Tell us which one it is.
Yeah, I like OKC. As Rob discussed a little bit, I like OKC in this situation for many, many reasons. Maybe mostly and strongly because of the metrics for this Miami team without everyone. Everyone that's not a ball boy. But I mean, if without Bam and Martin, let's talk about Robinson even, and Lowry and Hero. Without Hero and the way he's the future of this Miami team that we're talking about right now. He's a guy that's going to be 25, 30 a game, guys. And he's not in. I love it when Hero's in and Lowry's out because we know they're going to play fast. We know Lowry's not going to be, waddling up the court and trying to act like he's a tough guy. But let's get to the point here. Not only do I like OKC to do what Rob said, and that is they're going to try to run. And they're going to try to stay away from ISOs with Alexander. That's when everybody gets to stand and rest. They're going to try to do that. They're going to run, try to wear this team down. And these young guys for Miami are going to be wanting to play basketball too. They don't play very much. Well, they played a little bit more than they wanted to probably like to this year. We're going to go Miami. We're going to go OKC plus the points at over the 222.
Over. Okay, there you go. All right, good stuff there, guys. And to recap once again, we've got Skee Profit. The dogs are barking with Detroit here tonight, 13.5 against Philly. His best bet, though, Phoenix, minus just about everyone. Team total under 110 against the Golden State Warriors here tonight. Finn likes the Clippers, taking them as a dog now, or actually on the money line. For his dog, his best bet is going to be Oklahoma City +2 and likes the over to go over 222 here in Miami. While Vino, he's going to go OKC as his dog, but he's going to go Toronto first half. He's going to lay that 4.5 against Charlotte. Why? Because they suck. The contrarian gods are also, they too are going to be on the Clippers here tonight. As a home dog +1. And don't forget, you head over to WagerTalk.com. Opportunities are there with Skee Profit, Rob Vino, Tony Finn. Their best bets locked and loaded here tonight, guys. You got a ton of great college basketball, NBA going on. There's a little something for everyone here on the hardwood tonight. Visit these guys over at WagerTalk.com. and hop on board with one of those 3-day, 7-day, or 30-day all-access packages. And that'll do it here. Another nice card coming up tomorrow in the association. We've put college football behind us, so a lot of eyes are going to be on both the NBA now and college hoops, and we certainly hope you'll come back and join us again tomorrow. We'll break it down for you. Until then, on behalf of Skee, Rob, and Tony Finn, appreciate the time, guys. Best of luck with all the plays tonight. Come back and join us tomorrow. We'll do it again. Good luck.
Dave Koken turned 70 on January 13th, and we want to celebrate Dave's 70th all week long by offering everyone 7 days of his all-access service for just $70 using coupon code KOKEN70 when checking out on a 7-day all-access pass. That's every play in every sport for 7 days, including any 5% releases for just $70, coming out to only $10 a day. Dave is a legend in this business, with many calling him the GOAT. Despite betting and winning in sports since the Black Sox scandal, he could be enjoying one of the best runs of his career since joining WagerTalk. Look at his lifetime numbers since joining the WagerTalk family exclusively. Number 1 in total profit, number 1 in college football, number 1 in golf, number 2 in NHL, and number 4 in MLB. Just like fine wine, Dave Koken is getting better with age. Happy birthday, Dave, and take advantage of code KOKEN70 and get 7 days for only $70.